John here. In today's lesson we're going to cover an exercise that will get you control over this finger, the A finger in hybrid picking speak, and we'll also cover a lick as always, so let's get going. Before we start, go sign up for my newsletter and you'll get 17 free lessons straight into your inbox, and then you get a series of exclusive lessons that I don't share anywhere else. Alright, here's the slow version. We start on the 5th fret of the low E string. If you want tabs for this one, you can check out my YouTube lesson subscription, you have the link below, or go to my Patreon, where you also get access to the entire Patreon guitar library, containing hundreds of different lessons. Alright, so this lick is based on a very simple pattern. It's going to be 8 notes in total. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that would be 2 notes on the low string, 1 note, then back to the lowest string, and then 1 note, and then 2 notes on the top string. And I say low and top string here because it's basically based on this 2-1-2 pattern, which is 2 notes, 1, 2. And that's a very common pattern to play 7th arpeggios with. And I'm going to cover a lesson on this in the future, but for now that's all you need to know. So the shape I'm playing here, it's an A minor 7 shape. And I'm moving that up to an E minor 7 shape, exactly the same fingering, just starting on E here on the A string. And doing that, I get the 9th in the key provided. So this sound together, played over an A, will give you an A minor 9th sound. So that's the whole concept tonally behind the actual lick. So then you repeat the same thing 1 octave higher. Just have to compensate for the B string, otherwise it's the same pattern. And then we keep going with the A minor 7 in another inversion now. So we're going to start here on the 5th, so that would make it the 2nd inversion. So we have the actual shape remains the same though, or the pattern in the right hand. And that pattern is constantly down, M, A, down, M, A. And the rhythm of the right hand would be and that's because we're playing 16th notes in this case. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the gaps here will be filled in by the hammer. So we get a hammer here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's why the rhythm is right. And then the next one is sort of the opposite. You have 1, 2, 3, and then we hammer 4, so that would be, so together. So if you can divide it like that, you can see that it's not as intimidating when it comes to the right hand, because when you play it or you see someone else play it, it can, you know, look way more intimidating because you get all these notes thrown at you. But as you can see, it's not that difficult once you get the control here. And how do you get that control? Well, work on the exercises that I've provided so far in the hybrid picking series. Anyway, once you get up here, slide up to 15, which is the flat 7 of the key, and then go down 15, 12, 13, 12, 14, 14, 15, 14, 12. The way that I pick it is just slide into here, pull off, up, pull off, up, down, up. But you can try more pull-offs if you want, but that's the way I do it. So once again, slowly. Alright, so as promised in the introduction, we're going to focus on this finger today. And this finger is a pretty big problem for a lot of people when they start out doing hybrid picking, myself included, but through some systematic exercises, it really helped me to get this finger under control. I'm going to share 2 exercises today. One of them you've already seen, and that's from the first hybrid picking video. So I suggest you go back to that one anyway if you haven't seen it, so you can get all the basic information when it comes to preparing and planting your fingers and all that stuff, because it will still apply to this one. So do that if you haven't seen it already. And this exercise is basically going through the possible 2 finger combinations, 1 2 1 3 1 4 2 3 2 4 3 4, and then working that out with the right hand fingering here. So in that video we basically did the pick and the M finger, but now we're going to do the same thing with only M and A. So I'm just going to play through the lowest string group here so you can see what I mean. So that's the lowest string group. You go on to the next string group, do the same thing. When you reach the top, you're going to do the same thing but go backwards, and we're also going to turn the fingers around. So instead of going, you're going to go, but again using the M and A finger. When I do this now, pay particular attention to how I'm always planting. I'm not striking the strings from the air. The reason we do that is to get the correct motion dialed in, and also you get a really secure feeling in the right hand when you play like that. And I know when you're actually playing and using this technique, that might not always happen, but at least your motion will be as close to that as possible, and then you will be in good shape anyway. So again, check that out. So I'm never striking from the air. I'm always on the string before I strike it. And of course that will mean that you have to practice slowly, and I know a lot of you hate that and don't think that it works, but that's really one of the secrets to developing your technique, in my opinion. You need to practice slowly because we're building a skill here. It's not bro science, we're not building a muscle, it's a skill, so we need to give the correct information to our brain. But when you actually practice, I 100% believe that you should spend most of your time doing slow, controlled reps, but with fast transitions. So there's some skill to slow practice as well. But this is how you program your technique the best, in my opinion. The next exercise, we're gonna focus on going from the pick to the A finger. Same exercise, just with a string skip. So we're gonna go between the E and the D string first. Still planting and everything else as before. So on all the way up, and then reverse everything like in the previous one. You know the drill. So how much do you practice this? Well, it's going to be up to you, but it doesn't take very long to do one run through like this. But I would do that in each of the 5 zones, as I call them, which is starting on the 1st fret, covering 4 strings. Then you do the same thing on the 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th. So what I mean then, you go through the whole thing, all the way up, all the way back, then do the string skip, all the way up, all the way back, move up to the 5th fret, repeat the same thing, 9th fret, 13th fret, 17th fret. Reason for that is that we want to experience the whole neck, but we don't necessarily need to do it on each fret. We just need to get a feel for the different tension and position for your hands. So that's why we do it. But that's really important, I think. But again, it doesn't take that long to do this exercise. I think that should be fine. If it's not fine, maybe divide it up. So maybe you do 3 positions per day. Then you simply start with the 1st position, 5th position, 9th position. Next day, you start on the 13th and do the 17th, and then back to 1. And you keep going like that. So you sort of cycle through it. So that's the exercise. Again, nothing will help you if you don't try it. Above all, make sure that you do good reps and not shit reps. And then I'm 100% sure your technique will be much better for it. Right, so give this a try and leave me some feedback in the comments on how it went. And also please like and subscribe to the video. And if you have any questions of any kind when it comes to the guitar and practice and anything related, please post them below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that will also give me some ideas for future videos. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.